Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. This is the start of a new series I'm making called Let's Fix It. First up on our repair bench is a Hewlett-Packard DV6-2030sa, which you can see right here. The issue with this is that it only boots when it gets warm/hot, so let's demonstrate it. Power adapter. Although this has enough charge in it, I am going to power it up regardless. Yes, typical British weather, it's raining. So you can see that it turns on, but there are no lights at all. No flashing. So this indicates to a Nothbridge failure, and cheers for AMD using the horrid RS880 chipsets. They suck greatly. So what I need to do is wait for it to get the slightest bit hot / warm, so this could take a minute. And in the meantime, while we're waiting for that, this is a new series, and I'm hoping for it to take off. I've got plenty things that I can be able to fix. It'll be coming your way soon, rather than later, because who the hell wants to wait for that stuff? So let's shut it down. I'm going to face the screen towards you guys so you can see that this temporary fix is good enough for some. Okay, maybe it needs it to get a little bit hotter. Yeah, it's been starting to do that now. Gets a little bit iffy. Yes. The backstory with this computer is I found it in a recycling bin in a local library, because that's where I get most of my electronics from. In the recycling bin, I saw this in the bottom of the pile. I was like, hell yeah, take this. It worked when I first got it, but then I stupidly left it on my bed, and I didn't clean the vents out. This was completely clogged, and it just overheated and died. Like these usually do, but these do get extremely hot, and they break very often. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to shut that down, power cycle it, interesting, okay, it's not booting even though I've let it get hot. There is definitely heat coming out of that. I don't like this. There we go. Now it boots. As you can see, it starts up to HP. I'm going to shut that down before it causes more damage to itself. Yeah, so that is the issue. That's the problem we have with this machine. So we'll just get rid of the power supply, and we're going to get into the disassembly process for one of these. Granted, I don't know how to take one of these apart. I've done it before, but it's a difficult task, mind you. So we're just going to give it a shot. We're going to see what we can do. I'm going to see if I can organise the screws. Oh yeah, safety first. Remove the battery. Yes, even if it is a massive beast of a battery, which is fully charged, and even has its own little charging port. So I'm presuming this is the entertainment grade battery. Back when the machine was new. This machine was very decent. These sold very well. But sadly, due to the quality of the chips they used, they didn't last long. So then you want to remove the hard drive cable and the Wi-Fi card. just so I don't have to come back to it later. Personally, I like to keep screws that hold stuff like Wi-Fi cards down with the card itself, so I put the screw on top and set it aside. And we're going to take the RAM cover off. This video may get interrupted, I don't know. But if it does, I will stop. I'll have to obviously video edit this together if it does decide to stop, because I don't really plan on stopping. We're hoping that it doesn't stop halfway through when I'm doing the actual soldering, because I can't not, well, I can probably lever the chip off after the sudden eruptness, but the amount of storage over my hard drive is a premium. The CR2032 battery, and just to be extra safe, we're going to remove that with a flathead screwdriver. A lot of people say, oh no, you're shorting it out because you're using a metal tool now. If I did short this out, then big deal. Having a working BIOS is pretty much not really a big deal with these old computers, because pretty much stuff from the 2000s onward, it just holds the settings by itself. Second thing we want to do is we want to remove the button panel from the top half of the computer. So to do that, we just take the screws out. As soon as I figure out how to live stream, I might live stream these rather than wait for the comments to roll in, because no one comments on my videos, which is sad. None of you guys are leaving comments. Please leave comments. Unless you're a spam bot, then right off. But if you're a genuine person, come on, please leave your feedback. I want to know what you guys think. Is this a good series? Should I carry on? Or is this an absolute waste of my time and I should just stick to doing this behind the scenes and you guys just seeing the computers themselves? Alright, so we've got the screws out. I'm going to flip the computer upright. Open up these beautiful hinges, which technically suck, but whatever. No, the hinges aren't that bad. These are held down really well. Maybe I forgot to remove a screw. Nope. I have taken all the screws out. Oh, okay, there we go. We've got one off. Try to take this one off. There we go. Oh, that was stressful. Alrighty. Put the screen back up. You just want to fold out. There's two little plastic lugs underneath the keyboard section there. You want to make sure that you pull this section out really gently. Don't yank it, whatever you do. You'll snap these little lubs right off. If you're someone like me who doesn't like breaking stuff, then fair warning to you. But if you just go ahead, go and you don't really care for breaking a tiny bit of plastic off, be my guest. Go straight ahead and yank your thing off. But also be careful, because there's two ribbon cables connecting the power button and the fancy dancy touch interface for the volume and Wi-Fi interface. So you just want to remove 3 little screws which hold the keyboard in place. I'm going to set those aside with the keyboard. When you remove the keyboard, to remove the keyboard, you just lever it towards you. Somehow. Lever the keyboard towards you. Okay, fine. That's the way you want to play. That's the way you want to play. No biggie, no biggie. I'm not stressed. I am not stressed. I shall do this myself. Oh, I know why. It's thingied in. It's screwed on the other side. I'm an idiot. Yeah, you might want to. It's advised to remove the keyboard screws as well from the bottom. There is one on the underside just close to the battery terminal. I don't know if you can see it, but there's one right near here. Yes, I shall put those by the keyboard, if that makes sense. Swap my tip over to the crosshead tip again. And what else are we going to do? Oh yeah, there's a screw here, and here, and here. Alrighty. Let me just take these screws out. I personally like this computer. It's a really decent machine. It's got an AMD Tyrion 2 in it and an ATI, I think it's an ATI Rage Pro? No. Mobility Radeon 4550, I think. Yeah. This is a very decent machine. Or was a decent machine for the time. These sold very well. But unfortunately, in more recent terms, these are just failing. Primarily just due to the backlights and the screens. I haven't seen a single backlight issue though, so that sounds complete BS to me. But I'm guessing not everyone's a happy bunny when it comes to the DV6. Righty. To remove the keyboard, you just lift it up at the back, slide up the little metal, I think they're metal lugs out from the bottom, flex it back until you can see the ribbon cable, and you want to lift the little tab up. There's a little black tab, and then just gently ease the connector around. It should just spring back to the point because it's a keyboard under strain. And then to get rid of the button panel, you just unplug the two ribbon cables. You don't need to lift any tabs, these just plug in, and then you've got your SRS control panel straight off. Did I just call it SRS? Oh, well, it says SRS Premium Sound. I don't know what I was going on about. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the brand name that does this stuff does actually make it. Okay, so these are the screws for the button panel. You want to make sure that those are, well, with the button panel. And we want to make sure that these screws all go with the keyboard, which I shall place behind the computer, well, behind the camera, right there. That didn't sound good. It just slipped. Something slipped. Okay, and now you can see the glorious insides, which I didn't bother doing much of for metal shielding. There's our offending chip in the middle, underneath, on the other side of the board. But next we want to take out our speaker assembly, so we're going to do that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick video of the disassembly process, and then I might cut the video and then have the soldering bit as its own little separate clip, and then I can stitch the two clips together using a video editor. I think that'll work better for me. I mean, if I had the choice, I would live stream it, but I haven't figured out how live streaming works yet, so that's gonna have to happen soon, another time. Checking all over the screws. I have to take all these screws out. Every single one must go. All of them. Straight out. No one gives a damn. Show straight out. Don't take L's from the speakers. And you want to just slide this little connector out, which goes to the speakers. And then you just want to slowly lift them out of the system, unclipping them as you go along, obviously. Be gentle. Speakers don't take kindly to being beaten up, or in this case burned. And there you go. You've got your Altec Lancing subwoofer on this side. Well, yeah, you can see the subwoofer, and then you got the tweeter on this side. I'm not an audiophile, so I'm just using words that I've heard from technology. So, yes, the woofer and the tweeter, also known as the dog and the bird. Anyway, what should we do next? I think we should take out the screen. because the screen is annoying to some people, and unfortunately with modern computers you have to deal with it when you're taking them apart. Not with the DV6 as such, because you can just unplug the display cable ribbon on the side. That ribbon goes to the little HP logo that lights up on the back and the display, and the backlight inverter. That's all done through that cable. And then you want to remove this little cable here with the silvery stuff on the side, so this stuff. That goes to the webcam, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Then you wanted to deroute the Wi-Fi cables, they come out from there. And you want to just quickly unscrew these screws. One sec. Okay, now you just want to remove these display screws. You've got two long ones. The long ones go at the bottom, and the shorter ones go at the top. That way you don't cause long screw damage. And as I know from several people, such as Lewis Rossman and Paul Daniels, and several others, nobody likes long screw damage. It's horrible. You can easily identify these screws because the shorter ones have got blue thread locker and the longer ones have got red thread locker. You can't see it because my camera is utterly garbage, but you'll have to take my word for it. Keep your hand on the screen as you take out the last screw, or don't, because it does have some give, and then you just want to lift the display right off the computer. And boom! You've got yourself the bottom part. So this is the HP DV6 is the easiest computer to turn to a half top ever. Right. Give me a sec while I find a safe place to bung the display. It won't get scratched up more than it already is. I know, I'll put it on top of this fabric bag over here. Make sure I don't lose any screws, because I know I hate losing screws. I'm pretty sure most of you guys out there will agree with me. Righty, so let's flip our computer over to the bottom again. So we have the bottom half facing up. Now you just got to remove everything else from the computer. Personally, here is the DVD-ROM drive. Just want to pull that out. It's a nuisance to some. So I'm going to take your DVD RW drive out and put it aside. Where? I don't know. I'm in a pretty big workshop, so I can stick this pretty much anywhere I want. My desks are quite big, so we're going to have to move around. So we're going to go back to this point here, which mainly revolves around... Oh god, there's another keyboard screw here. Should probably remove that. Okay, we got two screws. I don't know where they've come from. I'm just gonna have to assume that they come out from the bottom. And I'm looking all over, I don't see where they've come from. Interesting. I don't like that at all. Just wanna... You have to jab this other keyboard screw out, it likes getting caught and stuff. We don't want to stick that screw over there. These, I don't know where they've come from. They haven't come from the screen or anything. I'm just going to assume that they've just fallen out of the system. Well, poo. Oh well, moving on. So yeah, like I want to say, you want to move the system upside down. I think select models came with the TV tuner card. I think that's what this little socket here is for, as an optional add-on. I think all of these are for the bottom palm rest assembly. It's a big boy part, and it needs big boy screws. So we're going to remove all of them out. These are the long screws, so these are the ones with the red thread locker, as you can see. those there. Have to remove those. All of them. And set them in their own pile. That way you don't lose them. I like separating the screws to be with the bits that they're supposed to be attached to rather than all mixed together, because that's a nightmare. There's a little screw, little sneaky little screw off to the side, just under the DVD-ROM drive. I want to make sure that that is, of course, added to the pile. I can already smell disintegrating HP from here. I hate reflowing stuff. If I'm honest, it's probably got to be the most destructive method of repairing something that I've ever seen in my life. I have done a little bit of research into doing this kind of stuff, but it's scary. It's scary knowing that you could cock up at any moment and destroy your entire computer. It's not fun. It's not fun. Now, yeah, there's some more screws up the top here. You want to remove one short one just off to the side next to the power button. Well, not the power button, the display connector assembly. That's got blue thread locker on it. We seem to be missing one here and one here, but I think I might have already taken those two out. Weird. And you got three at the back. Three little ones with blue thread locker on the back. And now you got your Bluetooth module. I believe that's Bluetooth module. Probably is. Unplug that. Set that aside. And your touchpad assembly. Be very careful with this. This already looks kind of messed up. Just gently lift that out. Just comes right off. You don't have to lift any tabs or anything with this, except for the keyboard. Now, I guess we just pry the two halves apart. Go along with your fingers. If it gets really stiff, you've probably forgot a screw somewhere. So most of the time it's really just stuck on through force. Oh god, I hate this computer. In fact, I am having to stand up because of this. It's outrageous. Oh, okay. I've just noticed I've forgotten a screw. There's one right in the middle of this white cable that goes to the USB board on the side, and there's one that goes to the power connector. It is a long screw with blue thread locker on it, so that's interesting. Yes, it's longer than the others. Interesting. Okay. Oh yeah, then the rest should just click right off. Just pry extremely gently. I know this is an old computer, but this is quite nice. It was in a pretty abysmal condition when I found it, but whatever. There we go. That cover comes right off, leaving you with the exposed motherboard assembly, which I'm used to. I don't have a monitor down here at all. Well, I do, but it's broken. Power down here is not very effective. Power is a bit iffy in some places. So you just want to put all the screws to that panel on the panel itself and move it somewhere stable. Stable, people. Don't bother sticking it on really wonky surfaces, because you can say goodbye to your screws in that case. Just leave that there. And then we are left with the bottom half assembly. Now, annoyingly, before I began, I forgot to take the blimmin' remote out. Yes, these computers have a flipping remote. So you do want to take that out, chuck it aside, do whatever. Unless you've not got a remote because you've lost it, then that's not my fault. You want to disconnect this that goes to the infrared and audio jacks. In this case, the sound card probably. The sound chip is on the motherboard. Try not to sound stupid. Deroute the power jack cable, really just to disconnect it and then reroute it. Just stick it back. Stick it back. There we go. And then there's mostly on all HP laptops, there's only one screw holding the motherboard in place. Dell, they have around about 5. But this isn't a Dell computer. If you've come here to repair a Dell computer, leave the video now. And I think you should go back to watching Peppa Pig. Because you clearly don't have the right IQ to be repairing something as really difficult to take apart as one of these. And this is the whole bottom assembly that you don't technically need unless you're testing the board. So for that, we're just going to take this and stick it on the floor because I've ran out of places to put stuff. And then we have the brains of the computer. Whoop-de-doo. Interesting stuff. We've got the motherboard. Let's flip it over. And you can see the heatsink assembly. Now, you've got a giant cooling fan. This is massive. Try not to spin that too much because of electrical damage. You want to unplug the fan. And now I can spin this because it's not connected to anything. Unplug the fan, and then you see some screws that are holding the heatsink in place. They are all numbered. You want to remove them, numbers 1 to 6. So start with 1, move to 2, and then move to 3. Blimmin' neck, that one's tight. Number 3, just ease them off. Then to go to 4, which is just in the middle of the 2 pipes. 5, which is just off to the point there. And then finally 6, just to get that off. Just get it off. Get it off. Now, if you're lucky enough that your computer does turn on when it gets hot, like mine, there is another method you can do to save time, money, resources, whatever, if you don't have one of these. You basically just power it up, considering you've placed the thermal paste on the graphics card and the processor, because if you kill the graphics chip, game over, unless you know how the BGA rework. Just let it get hot, do some high intensity applications, watch a movie, play a small game, don't play it graphics intensive or else you blow the chip up, the graphics card up. And then yeah, it should get hot enough that it will fix itself. This fix is temporary. It'll work like maybe a week, month, year if you're lucky. The rest of your life if you're really lucky. The rest of eternity if you're a god. But hey, we all have different levels of luck. Okay, swip the CPU switch to the unlock position and remove the AMD Turion 2 processor. That's what that is. We'll set that off to the side. And we have the bare bones board. This is the brains of the machine. And now we move on to the scary part. So, I'm just going to pause this video here. I'm going to do some research on reflowing motherboards because I've learned some bit, but I want to make sure. I want to know what temperature. I know to use 90% airflow. I'm just going to turn that down a bit. As for heat, I think it's never above 200 degrees. I'll have to confirm with P&L on that one. Soldering iron needs to stay off because I don't even know why I've got the iron plugged in. Or whatever. Yeah. So I'll control the heat and the airflow, and the time I'll set on the phone for, I think it's 2 minutes, using the airflow going, you know, over the tip like that. And then I'll be getting back to you. Fingers crossed with a working HP, worst case scenario with a completely dead pile of crap. I'll see you then. Okay, so we're going to be starting on the heating part of the chip in the middle of the RS880, the die. We are going to set a timer for 1 minute 30 seconds, as I'm going to be circulating the chip with the 200 degree, 90% airflow, and what was the other factor? I don't know, it was something. But yes, 90 degrees, 1 minute 30 seconds on the timer, circling the die. So let's do it now. I really hate doing this, you know. Yes, that's hot. Just confirming that this time isn't going to be wasted, because I'd be really annoyed if it is. Just want to keep circling it. 1 minute, 30 seconds. Go off. Go off. Go off, please. Come on, timer, hurry up. I don't want to do this anymore. Oh, that didn't sound good. I heard something pop. Hurry the hell up. "12 seconds remaining." Okay, so now we can relieve our temperature. We're going up ever so slowly, and put the iron back on the bit. Oh, that's hot. That is hot. Okay, we're going to let it cool down to room temperature. This is kind of a rush job, so... But it's not, it's my computer, so technically I don't technically care what happens to it. And fingers crossed, it should work afterwards. Now, this is quite a stressful job, if I'm honest. I don't like reflowing stuff. I'm just going to give the board a quick, you know, check over. Okay. Right, we're going to leave it for a bit. I'm going to let it cool down. Wrong switch. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to let it cool down, let it return back to room temperature. I'm going to inspect it. Ooh, little bits that could have gone wrong, horribly wrong. See any hairline cracks? I don't even see any heat strain, if I'm honest. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to stop. We're going to come back when it's cool. Now we're going to put the computer back together. This is the exciting part, because we get to know if it works or if I've just wasted my time. Probably going to be the second one, but hey, we won't know unless we try. We've got the AMD Turion 2 CPU, which we shall just slot into this little hole. I'm going to lock that down. locking it in like that. Lovely jubbly. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get our... Oh, this stuff is amazing. This is Arctic Silver MX4. This stuff is absolutely amazing. If I can get it open. I don't have much of this left, because mostly I just repaste Pentium 3 laptops and stuff with it. Most of my older machines, I tend to redo the thermal paste if they overheat frequently, but this is going to need quite a bit. So I'm going to put a nice big dollop on there, and an even bigger dollop on this ATI chip, because I do not trust it at all. Well, might have been a bit overboard. Whatever. Still have some left. I hope. Whatever. After getting that out of the way, you're gonna get your CPU fan assembly. Right, just lower it on gently. And do it up. Do all the screws up from 6 to 1. That's typical, isn't it? It's typical that I have to lose my screwdriver at a critical moment. Ignore that. I'm so sorry. I'm not one of the greats. I apologize for being an absolute noob. You just want to do them all up from screw 6 to 5 to 4 to 3 2 3 to 1. Just about there. That'll be fine. And as we have our paste installed, that should spread nicely over the dies, conducting the heat fantastically to this otherwise poorly designed heatsink. Fingers crossed we haven't dingied up the cables in the fan. Fan should work. Okay, so now we're going to need the bottom piece. This bottom piece, I have to say, is extremely important. It's more important than the motherboard itself. Because this is the brains of all our operation. This is where all the stuff goes. This is where all the bits attached to. Without the bottom piece, you would have no laptop. I'm just going to gently insert that, make sure not to trap any cables under it as we go. Jiggle around until you've got it into an ideal spot. Now for me, I personally like to make sure that my machine works before I go any further. There is a massive risk that this obviously could not work. But hey, we won't know unless we try. I think I'm going to not install the... Yeah, I'm not going to bother putting that stuff in. And then really all I need is the top button assembly. I can see what happens when it boots because there's lights and stuff on it. There appears to be some hair caught in it as well. Oh, that's not very nice. Forget it. I'm not wasting time.
I don't know if I should put RAM in or not.
I guess that would help.
Let's put one stick of RAM in.
And now is the scary part. This is where I actually plug the power in. Okay, we've got a little LED on the side. Fingers crossed. Pray hard. And what do you know? We've fixed it. That's fantastic. Alrighty. Like I said, this would probably last from a couple of reboots to the rest of its natural-born existence, but it's nice knowing that the thing actually has activity. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all this back off again. Stick all that back where it was. And this is the reassembly stage. This is where we get down and dirty with all the bits and stick them back where they belong. Join me for that, as I will be going through reinstalling all the components back to a pretty much completely functional Hewlett-Packard DV6-2030sa. I have a feeling that this series is going to be very successful. Yes, it should be very successful. Okay. What should we do? Okay, so you've installed the motherboard, you've screwed it in place, that's all fine and dandy. Now what you need is the trackpad, palm rest, the upper chassis I'm going to call it. That sounds like a good name. I'm going to call it the upper chassis. And I've dropped a screw! And I found the screw. I hate this. I honestly can hate this. I do. I really hate this. But it's all worth it in the end. So what we're going to do is we're going to gently insert this piece. And then we're just going to press down really hard. No F's given, just press down hard. Ooh, that's good. Most of this stuff won't sit properly until it's screwed down. But there we go, you can just press down on all the major nooks and crannies until you hear pops, snaps, Rice Krispies, you name it, it's going to do it. Now the Wi-Fi down here isn't very good, and I am kind of streaming to a website that's recording my video for me since my built-in camera application stopped working. This shouldn't abruptly stop unless the Wi-Fi drops out, the power goes out, or my battery dies, which it won't because it's plugged in. But that technically comes under the power goes out. What if? Now, I remember in the previous few segments that I've had to record in advance, that there is a long screw that's not a short screw. I remember that goes here. I don't know why, I don't know how, but I somehow remembered the one good thing that's going to help me go far in life. Okay. You can see me shaking quite a bit in this video. I'm so sorry. But I'm terrified. I don't like reflowing things. I don't really care if I have to just solder a new chip on, a new capacitor, or fix a short somewhere that I've already identified. No, I'm fine with all that. Reflowing a chip that I know is going to stop working sometime in the near future, it's nerve-wracking. A lot of people say, oh, bung it in the oven. No, do not ever put computer parts in the oven, ever. I know someone who insists persistently on sticking stuff in the oven. I don't ever listen to him, ever. It's my computer. I can do what jolly well damn I like to it. Alright, we're going to unscrew that screw I installed in the middle because that one's corroded and I want the screws on the exterior to look sexy. the screws on the interior can be all corroded and nasty. No, it's me being all weird, saying, oh, computers look sexy and whatnot. No, it doesn't. Computers don't need to look beautiful in order to function properly. Razor blade you can get out. The brand new Dell XPSs you can also, unless the XPS 2010 is there, I don't technically mind. I swear there's something under here. I think that... Oh no, spilled speaker screws. Not a big deal. Okay, yeah, the rest of these screw mounts are for the speakers. Meaning this one goes here. Okay, now I think we put the screen on, if I'm not mistaken, which we shall go and oversee the back behind the scenes and grab the massive 19-inch display. I don't know how big the screen is. I'm just acting smart because I'm not smart at all. So we are missing a screw. Is this supposed to be 4 screws? I don't know. Wild guess. Okay, we reinsert the screen. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it goes in well. Still recording. As soon as you've inserted at least one screw, the screen will stay. The screen will stay. It's a good screen. Good screen. Stay. Now I'm treating my screen as a dog. Now most people will think I've officially gone crazy. Which I have. What do you expect lockdown's going to do to me? A kid that can't go out and get new electronics to tinker with is pretty much... It's like being put into a Big Brother household without electronics. I wouldn't live. I'd end up pulling the oven apart, and possibly most of the cameras in the house anyways. And so I found a screw. That would probably be me. Then you just want to fold these cables under, route the webcam cable. Well, you might want to plug it in first and then route it. There you go. Do it like that. This will get annoying sometimes because it's really fiddly, but if you get to that point where you just don't want to carry on anymore, you can just pull the cables under from the other side. Okay, we have the screen almost installed. Just wanna... There we go. Screen is now installed. At this point, you can test it again for a boot. For a will it boot? That is really the question. I know for will it will. No, it won't, because there's no power button plugged in. No, I'm gonna surprise myself. I'm gonna wait until I put it all back together, and then I'm gonna watch my face fall as it stops working. Because my life is a comedy. Until then, we're just gonna stick all the long screws in, all the big massive screws, all the gigantic ones, in every possible space I can find. Insert them. It's advised to make sure that you don't put the wrong screw in the wrong hole. I've done that before and I've caused lots of damage. I think I destroyed the charging circuit to an Iridium Starbuck 620, which I might actually fix in one of these videos. I'm not sure. I could do a let's fix Iridium Starlink 620. Maybe. Maybe. I could, but I don't want to. I'm sorry for not being too chatty in these videos. I have nothing to go over in the background other than putting the screws back in. Maybe if I did a live stream, I could chat. But until I figure out how those work, I won't be doing that. Although live streams would be quite helpful because I don't have to worry. I only have to worry is when people start going F in the chat because the stream died. Then I complain. Or panic, or start screaming, or start throwing stuff across the room in a frenzied rage. Oh, I think I found out where those two screws went earlier. They go in here. Where's that screw? What are you doing there? Okay, we have one screw left over, which is worrying. Oh yes, no, not forgetting the little tiny screw we have in the corner down where the DVD drive goes. That goes in there, holding that loose corner down. Yay! Now I figured out why that screw doesn't, well, why that corner doesn't fit on properly. Now we're going to get our big boy DVD-ROM drive. I'm going to slaughter in. Probably I'm holding it the wrong way around. Which I am. Stupid drive. That's not going in. Oh, let me guess. I've screwed it in. Yes, that explains it. This screws for the damn drive. Optical drive. I think we should install the speakers next. Yes, that sounds like a good idea. Let's install the speakers. And grab all the screws. All of them. If I forget one, I'll be very upset. Okay, so we're now just gonna insert screws. Crap. Yeah, I hate it when this happens. Okay. You seem to be good. So let's just go ahead and screw screws into every location we see fit. Oh! I dropped it onto the board. That could have caused disastrous consequences. I don't have the CMOS battery or the actual battery installed, so yeah, no worries. Or, yeah, no. I was going to say, I might have just contradicted myself. No, it'll be fine. And then this screw goes up here. Fantastic. Our speakers are now installed and ready to thump along to that Russian hard bass. Next up, we've got this button panel comes last. Oh, I figured out where those two screws go. They screw on either side here and here for the button panel. Oh, I'm so dumb, I don't even know what I'm talking about sometimes. Okay. Shut that and get that out of there. That's just blocking the shot. We don't like people blocking the shot, do we? Here's a loose panel on the side that I broke when taking this apart initially. Don't pull this little side bit off by the charging port. There's a video online that shows a person doing that. Don't do that. It's supposed to be welded in place. Plastic weld snaps off. Don't break it. What am I missing? I'm missing something special. I know what I'm missing. I'm missing the fucking keyboard. That's what I'm missing. Now, it has 4 big screws. Yes, 4 of them, which I shall demonstrate there. And 3 little ones. The little ones screw on the top, I think. I'm not too sure. Oh yeah, the little ones go on the top. Big ones go in the bottom. But first what we've got to do is we've got to move our screen further back. And plug our power button and other stuff in. I can't put it off any longer. I've got to test this. And I'm delighted to say that it's worked. Okay. Panic over. Just want to let that panel sit higgledy-piggledy, no one cares what it looks like. And then you want to lift your panel up here.
Connect in the keyboard flex, which, if you're kind, it will go in an absolute treat. It's so satisfying the way it just slots into those grooves it's designed for, but if you try to force it, it won't. So be careful. Mine at the moment is acting all...
Yeah, mine's having a really mad time.
No, that's not gone in. That's gone in. Okay, there we go.
Once you've inserted your keyboard, you're just going to lift up the button panel and lay it into the system. Then you want to get your 3 little screws, and you want to screw them in up the top. The computer's not very happy. It doesn't like being filming for longer than a few minutes. I don't blame it. It doesn't like that. And then after doing that, you want to just layer your button panel on top. And then the upper side of the computer is fully assembled. You don't have to worry about it anymore. You can flip it upside down. We're going to screw in the keyboard. It's easy, just find all the keyboard holes. And screw pretty much everywhere where there's a keyboard icon. So there's 1 in the middle, there's 2 under the hard drive, and I think another one. Oh yes, another one just next to the battery contacts on the back. Remember that now. Okay, now you want to put the switch plate on. Slot your stuff in here. The 2 screws either side. These are the last of the long screws. Then you've got another screw, which I believe goes on this side, just next to another screw hole in the middle of a label. Now that label should house a silver screw, if you've got a silver screw. If it's just black, don't mind. It's just, as long as it's small screws, it's fine. And then that should conclude the repair Kinda.
Because there's an annoying conflict under here with the flipping thingy cable.
Wi-Fi card. Important stuff. If you want to go on the internet and surf stuff, you're going to need one. Unless you wish to have a 9 million long foot Ethernet cable, which I believe Ethernet loses its connectivity the longer the cable is. And I've just screwed that underneath the card. Yes. You need Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi is a necessity. Wi-Fi 6 is not a necessity. Wi-Fi 1 is good enough. No, 802.11g.
That's good enough. Next, you want to get your hard drive cable. It plugs directly next to this little... it plugs directly next to the card bus slot. If you've got a hard drive like I do up there, just pop it in. As for me, I don't wish to install mine until I've backed it up. Do that. If you've got another RAM stick, insert that. Your BIOS battery now gets inserted. Just want to pop that in. I think the hard drive cover goes on first. HP Protect Smart. That's handy. Because I've seen the size of those rubber bumpers they have on the drive. It's almost Panasonic Toughbook grade. No, I'd rather not take this to the war zone. This can stay at home. If Karen didn't steal the kids. Karen took the kids, so I can't. I will just be my lonely self, watching movies on a 10-year-old laptop, like you do. It's not like I have a MacBook Pro or anything lying around. I have 4. Yes, 4 MacBook Pros. And don't get your hopes up, none of them are modern. Or if you're an Apple hater, just don't. Just go. If you're an Apple fanboy, don't watch my laptop collection, because you will see a nasty, destroyed PowerBook 140. Not my fault. My brother broke it. I'm trying to fix it. But as soon as I seize a part of PowerBook, then that'll be another thing in the Let's Fix It series. Okay, got all the covers on, we've got all the stuff present, make sure you click them all down. I personally don't like poorly installed covers. You've got your beefy ass battery, plop that in, flip the computer over, and then lastly, insert your remote if you have one. If you don't have a remote, skip that step. And plug it in, the light should come on, and then the charging indicator comes on at the bottom, verifying the battery is being charged. Now, as a last test, we're going to see if it will survive a couple reboots, or if it's going to work. And look, we got lights, and then finally, we got video. So that is how you reflow and repair a HP DV6-2030sa. This is technically episode 6/7 in the DV6-2030sa series. This is final, it's fixed. And this is episode 1 in the Let's Fix series. So if you want to see more, comment in the comments section below. I will see your comment. Don't give me suggestions on what to fix, because most likely I won't have the item you're suggesting. But I do have other computers, laptops. I've got a house, a couple of desktops. I've got an iMac G3. I've got several broken computers that we're going to go over. But for now, that is the HP DV6-2030sa fixed. So thanks all for watching. This is episode 1 of Let's Fix It. I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.